What I do all day long is kick butt, and I love it, and we're going to do a lot of that today. You guys are a little bit too close. We're talking about being in a home, in the middle of nowhere, by yourself. We're going to talk about crushing the throat and poking people's eyes out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to make my turn. I got a head stop down here. And then as he bends down, I'm going to take my claws and I'm going to shove it in his arms. If I'm doing whatever and he reaches out to grab a hand from me, this just goes smack right across his hands to let go. It's about having a mindset to follow through. What I said up there is true. You're worth it. It's not your day. Not today and not like this. And if it is, I'm going down and he's going down. It's going to be better, right? You are worth it. I'd like to thank the Women's Council of Realtors for inviting me back because I have been here once before already. And with your permission, I'm just going to take a minute and tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Liz Weaver. My title, which is on the paper, is Shifu Liz Weaver. Shifu is my title as black belt. Liz is my first name, Weaver is my last name. And I've been running a martial arts school up in Calaveras County for 16 years. It's what I do full time. And I'm also the executive director of the Shang-Chi Foundation. And that's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that uses martial arts to help rehabilitate kids that have been in trouble, kids that are getting into trouble, if we can cut that off at the pass before they run into this sort of thing. It also helps, we train vets with PTSD and seniors that are rehabilitating from injuries or illnesses and this sort of thing. What I do all day long is kick butt, and I love it, and we're going to do a lot of that today, so I'm going to make this part pretty quick. But what I do every day is I can teach anybody how to fight. I can teach anybody with arms and legs. I've taught people in wheelchairs, people with walkers, people with all sorts of any acronym. Give me PTSD, ADD, ADHD, give me something on the autism spectrum, give me someone with cerebral palsy, and I can teach them how to fight. That's no problem. Really what I do all day long, and we're going to do a little bit of it here, and then we're going to talk about doing it more extensively later, is I got to teach people that they're worth it. That you're worth it. That it's fine to stand up in front of a room and say, I've been doing this for 27 years. And it's funny because I've been teaching since I was 25. And I found myself now at my age 29, kind of, people say, how long have you been doing this? And I go, and I was embarrassed. And I thought, what am I embarrassed for? I've been busting my butt doing this for a long time. It's why I'm still in business. It's why I'm the best at what I do. And I had to think, hey, I'm totally worth it and I've earned it. And it changed the way I said it and the way I presented it because I was struggling a little bit with pushing the 50. I know, 29, but pushing the 50. So yeah, so that sort of thing is just teaching you that you're worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm okay to do it. Yesterday I had a new student in Valley Springs sitting in my office. He wanted to quit, and he had absolutely no reason why he wanted to quit. He's 21 years old, lives at home, didn't go to college, doesn't know what to do. He's absolutely, completely lost. And he said, I want to quit. And I said, why? He said, I can't afford it. I said, fine, you can do it for free. And he burst into tears because he could afford it. I said, what's really going on is you don't think you're worth it. You don't think you're worth the time and the investment and my time and my investment. And I said, and you are. And we need to work on that as much as we need to work on kicking and punching. So we're going to work on both of those things today. And we're going to cover some social media, which is why we kind of went over that quickly, because social media is a really big part of what you do. Today's overview, we've got 3 objectives today. How many objectives, please? 3. We're going to cover, so if you turn to the second page, we've got safety tactics and awareness, how to not be a target, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, which is the self-defense training. And I have changed it up for the 3 of you that were here last time. And I have things that make noise in the back, so we're going to have a fantastic time today. I'm not alone today. Today I brought Shifu Miller with me. So come on out, Shifu. This is Shifu Miller. I'm privileged to be training with him on a regular basis. He has over 10 years of tactical training and law enforcement experience in the Stockton area. So there's law enforcement and then there's law enforcement in Stockton. So the man knows what he's doing. Okay, Stockton's great. That's fine. I don't want to make it sound like that, but it does have its problems. But you know, it's a big city with a lot going on. So he's my go-to guy for tactical. So if I were to call him up and say he doesn't know me, and I say, hello, I would like to sell my house. I'm at 139 Main Street. Would you please come by all by yourself and wear a skirt and some heels, and I'm going to show you around my property? What would you say?
No. So, I've been in this area for quite a while, and I've seen a lot of things. Yeah, briefly, we've all seen the after-school special. You don't get in person's vehicles and so forth. You know, strangers' vehicles, pull alongside vans. You know, somebody pull you in. Basically, it's the same thing going to a home you don't know. You're in their safe zone now, so just be advised of those things. So.
Yeah, so we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about because you've got, as real estate agents, generally you've got we're going to talk about it in two main ways. One is if you are hosting an open house, and one is if somebody calls you and says, I want a new listing. So we've got a lot to cover. I'm going to speak fast, but that's why I have it written down so you can reference it later. If somebody calls you up and says, I've got a place that I want to sell, and so-and-so referred you, I'm going to say, okay, I know Catherine. You know Catherine? Yeah, she referred me to you. Why don't you come out to my house in the middle of nowhere and take a look? And you go, okay, that sounds great. I'll be there too. Well, we're going to talk about the page with the Facebook graph. It's going to be your next page, which are the tools that are available to you that you can put to use right away that are quick and easy. What are they, please?
Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. So don't discount them, because I know everybody's busy. When we talk about time management, take some time into putting into your safety. The first one is tax records and MLS. You all have access to this, correct? Mm-hmm. All right. So I call up and I say, I'm Jane Doe, and I want to sell my house. If you pull up the tax records and it says Steve Smith owns the house, there's your first red flag. Let me say right now that not one of these is going to be an absolute yes or absolute no. You have to gather it all together and make that information. Does that make sense? Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next we have Spokio. This one is a paid criminal search. It's about $5 a month. You create your account, you go in, you type in John Doe, and it's going to tell you whether or not John Doe has ever been arrested and what he's been arrested for, if he's got a criminal background check. Now, I'm in an odd business. I work with a lot of guys that have already been in and out of prison. So it doesn't work quite the same for me, but for you, you want to know, was it a violent crime? Was he smoking pot? Was he doing something on the side of the road that he shouldn't be doing? This sort of thing. So it's, again, something to add to your tool, and that's called Spokio. You can find that one online. Same thing with Megan's Law. So the Megan's Law, has everybody taken a look at that and seen how many dots come up in your neighborhood and you wonder why you leave at night at all? Okay. So Megan's Law is really good. It shows you a photo. It tells you what they were arrested for. There are age limits attached. So some of them say that this person is not to be around anyone under the age of 14. So these are just clues. You're thinking, are they violent crimes? Were they crimes against children? Or was it somebody who was dating my daughter who was 17 and a half? Right? So you can, again, not just one of these things is going to be a make it or break it. It's going to be a tool that you just put in. You say, okay, it is that guy. He's been arrested for that, but it's not a violent crime, so I'm going to take somebody with me. Maybe not a yes, maybe not a no, but something that I need to put together in that. The Google searches, I'm a big Google fan. People use Bing and Yahoo, other things like that, but I think Bing and Yahoo all work the same. When you go to Google and you want to do research on somebody, you want to use the quotation marks, and I have them written down there. So if I want to look for John Doe, I'm going to go John Doe in quotation marks, John Doe Lathrop, and I want to see if anything comes up, and it's going to pull the recent searches. Because if you just put in John Doe without the quotation marks, it'll pull up every article with the name John and every article with the name Doe. But I want to see John Doe together. And that's what those little quotation marks does for you in the Google search. So it'll pull, one of 10,000 million articles. You just want to look at that front page for the person that says, I work, I want to sell the house. Like, you don't know me, but this is where I am. It'll pull up Facebook profiles, LinkedIn profiles, Twitter profiles, things like this, so you can click around. A lot of times, Facebook, last count, the last thing that I went to, which was about 2 months ago, 28 million users. Not everyone in the world is on Facebook, but it's a really good tool. And I've got a search bar for that as well. The other thing you can do is, if you want to know if John Doe is a rapist, you can put John Doe rape, John Doe arrest, and it'll pull those articles to the top, which saves you the time of reading 1,000 articles to see if the guy that wants to sell the house is going to do that. So again, they're quick and they're easy. You just have to train yourself to do that on a regular basis. You can probably do it at your desk while you're on the phone getting some information from them. Just type it in and pull it up and see what happens. The Facebook searches, raise your hand if you're on Facebook in any form for me. Okay, awesome. So the Facebook search, that one comes in again when you say, oh, my sister Catherine referred you or something like that. You can go to your Facebook page and at the top, you're going to start to type in the name. We use me as an example, and it's going to pull up their profile so you can take a look and see if it's really that person. Because if I say my sister Catherine referred me and I'm blonde in the photo, it's not me. Just trust me. We all have the same hair. My sister and I have the same hairdresser. In addition to researching the person, you've made the decision that it's a safe enough bet to go out and meet them. You want to research the area as well. Raise your hand if you're familiar with Google Earth. Good, good. All right, so how many of you are using it on a regular basis to take a look at your properties? Nice. Okay. How many of you started that after my last presentation? Okay, good. I'm having an effect. All right, Google Earth shows you a photo of the house in the area. So what I like to recommend Google Earth for is if you're selling bank-owned properties that have been sitting vacant for a while, or if you're going to a neighborhood that you're not familiar with, right? You're in a town that's 26 miles wide, you're used to one neighborhood, somebody calls, they're on the outskirts, especially in towns like Lathrop, even Stockton has that outer skirts, and then Manteca, right? There's cities in the middle, and then they've got that property at the end, and you want to know what's on those properties. You take a look at Google Earth, it says here's the main house, here's the garage, there's a shed in the back, there's a pool or not a pool, and I want to look at that. And Google Earth is not current, up to date, but it's as good a tool as you're going to get, except unless you have a plane you want to fly by with your own drone. So use Google Earth. So when you go to the house, you have an idea of what your surrounding areas are. Should I look for a minivan in the house next to me? Am I next to an open field? Am I next to water? Am I next to a highway? Where am I strategically placed in relationship to the big picture? And on a smaller zone, you want to know what is on that property before I get there. So I get to the property and I'm going to say, let's say you're out in the country a little bit or on the outskirts of town. I've looked at Google Earth. There's a main house, there's a shed, and there's a garage. And John Doe says, oh, let me show you the pool. Well, I know there's no pool. I just looked at the picture. And you can say, really, when was the pool put in? Something like that, because you're thinking, that might not really work because it wasn't on there. And again, you could have put in a doughboy, but you just want to kind of know that that's going on before you get out to that property. So Google Earth is an excellent tool. You just download it on your computer, and you can learn to assess that situation before you get there. We're going to talk about social media, which is a lot of social media. Okay, so a lot of you are already on Facebook. Personal profile. Raise your hand if you have a personal profile. Okay, leave your hands up. If you have a work presence, raise your hand. Okay, so a lot of you have two. Excellent. Okay. Your Facebook has changed the way we use the word friends, which I can't stand the way they use the word friends. But that's just what took off, and they found something that worked and they went with it, and I don't begrudge them that at all. So a friend is somebody that you would have over to your house for a meal. A friend is someone that you would have over to your house for a meal. If you have 3,000 people on your personal Facebook page, you're doing it wrong. 3,000 people don't need to know what your kids look like. They don't need to know that they're at soccer right now. They don't need to know that you just put in new kitchen cabinets. They don't need to know what you look like in a bikini, even though you're all very beautiful women. That's nice. I don't need to know that. They don't need to know that you're sitting on the beach drinking margaritas and that your house is empty. So there's a number of things to do on your personal page. One, you need to lock it down. What do you need to do, please?
Lock it down.
Lock it down. If you know me, send me a friend request and I will decide if I want to share my information with you. There's a lot of people I don't share with that I'm friends and family with. But you need to lock down your personal information. Your business page, your what, please?
Business page.
Your business page is where you do your marketing. When you meet each other here, you're all very nice people, but hand each other your cards with your business page Facebook link, not your personal. Not until you're friends enough that you're babysitting each other's kids and coming over to each other's homes for dinner. And it's not an insult, but I just need you to change the way you think about the word friends, because Facebook has really changed that. And 10 years ago, you were an acquaintance, but there's no acquaintance link on friends. Oh my God, we're just acquaintances. Well, guess what? We're just acquaintances, right? And it's nothing personal, but that's just the honest truth of it, and you need to change the way you think about that. Posting vacation pictures. Vacation pictures go up when you return. When do they go up?
When you return.
When you return. You don't need to rub it in that you're having that good of a time in the first place. And second, you need to do it when you're back. And then you scroll through your pictures and you go, yes, I don't look that good in that one, but it sounded like a good idea at the time, delete that one. And then you can put it up and your friends and family can take a look and say, okay, they were here or they were there. But you're home at this point, and your home and your property is protected at this point. Your business page, you can still do a lot of marketing in terms of connecting. So there's ways to do it that are easy. So let's say I've got a daughter. Let's say I've got 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they play baseball and soccer. And I meet a new client, and they've got 2 kids about the same age, and they play baseball and soccer. And I think, okay, I really want to go for this market. I really want to advertise myself to these parents that want to buy in this neighborhood, and their kids are going to play soccer with my kids, this sort of thing. On my Facebook page, I can write a little blog or a little story that says, I was taking Susie to the park to play baseball when I realized how safe the neighborhood is, blah, 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 sort of thing. Well, Susie may or may not be my daughter's name, and that's okay. You can put a little asterisk and say the name of this child's been changed for her protection. But I don't need to go completely public and say, here's a picture of Susie, and here I am, and this is what she looks like, and this is where she goes to school, and her name is Susie, and our code word is broccoli. So when you pick her up at school and kidnap her, this is what you say, right? So you can still be personal in your marketing by changing the names, taking a look at really how you're using your personal experiences, because that sharing and connecting is what connects you to other people. But just count to 10 and say, do I really need to share this with 3,000 people? Do they really need to know it? And how am I marketing it? And you can just play with that in terms of your marketing and your posts and your pictures. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. Follow your gut. Trust your instincts, ladies. We have fantastic instincts. It's that gut feeling that in hindsight you go, I had a feeling something was wrong, but I went ahead and did it anyway. All right, the gut instinct is there for a reason. Women are better at it than men, so stick to it. Trust it. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you make a mistake? Nothing. Yes, you may turn off a client or not, but know your demographics. In terms of your marketing, if you think, okay, someone's going to be turned off by this, or they're not going to like me, or someone else is going to get that sale, don't have what I call a zero-sum mentality. There are houses out enough in this area for all of you to sell enough houses to make a ton of money. Yes or yes?
Yes.
All right, so if somebody thinks you're a little bit wackadoo or a little bit tight, a little bit like, oh my God, she's a little bit like not making me on her friends list, then you know what, go find somebody else who wants to be on my friends list. I'm going to go find a sale somewhere else. There are plenty of people and plenty of houses, and it might mean that you need to hustle, but hustling is nothing new for you, yes?
Right.
Okay. All right, your backup, and hopefully they teach you this when you first sign up for whatever your job is. And I put it in here because a lot of times the things that are so familiar are the ones we forget. I don't know when they teach it to you, but if they teach you in real estate school that you have to have a backup, someone has to know where you're going, somebody has to know when you're going to be back, somebody needs to call you, and you go, yeah, I need to tell somebody where I'm going, and then you get distracted and leave without it. I was in the back of the room listening to you talk about what it is that you wanted. Before I did this, I worked in a law firm, which was predominantly male attorneys, and all the women were the secretaries and stuff. It was the most hostile, backstabbing, nitpicking. I have 6 girls in my family, and I would rather go back to living with all of us in the house than I would go back to working in a female-dominated industry. But this is a female-dominated industry, am I right? Okay. And you were talking about how that you need to support each other. And it's true, you do need to support each other. And it's tough because women are taught a number of different things. One is, do you value yourself enough? Do you not value yourself enough? How does a man market? Is a man more cutthroat? Again, are they going to like me? Are we going to be friends? Can I be a good person and be supportive and still not have you over to my house? Mm-hmm. Say yes, because I can. So I don't know, I've never been invited to friends. But I can. I am encouraging. I am supportive. I want you to win. I will bust my butt day and night for you. I am your biggest cheerleader and your worst enemy because I will not let up on you. But then you're not coming to my house for dinner because I need a break. But I can still be a woman supporting another woman and not be too connected. And every once in a while I find somebody that I'm really like, okay, we're going to connect, and that's fine. But supporting each other in a female environment is tough because we're women, and there's a part of us that's like, whatever, yeah, that's fine. That's all right. You can have that. No, you go, girl. That's fine. You know, it's this conflicted. It's this conflicted. I want to support you, but I really want you to fail, sort of a thing that we all have. Nobody raise your hand. And it's true, and I know it's true. I do it in yoga, right? I do it in yoga. No judgment. And I look at the girl next to me and I go, I hope she falls. I can't stand her. She's so much stronger than I am. And I hit the ground because God has a great sense of humor. Okay. So, in your offices, get over the female competition, get back to some female team supporting, and set up your support system.
Amen, sister.
This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to be. Please call me. Come with me. What are you doing? Are you working the floor? No. What do you got? Nothing. I'm doing my thing. Why don't you come with me? Then I've got 2 people on the premises for me. Showing the open houses, I know it's not always practical, but if you can take somebody with you, you're sitting in the middle of nowhere, you told everybody where the address was, they all know what you look like, you're going to be there from 10 to 2, anybody smart's going to know you're going to be there an hour early to make sure the house is clean and smells like cookies and coffee, right? So take somebody with you. And if you can't take somebody with you to an open house, see if you can take somebody with you for the first hour. So you can go through the house, take a look at the environment, have somebody there with you. When you do your security check, are there holes in the fences? Do I need to check the closet? What's in the back shed? Is there a cat that's going to come running out of the bottom? Will you be here with me for that first hour? And then I'm set for the open house. So you know that you're in a secure location. So things like this, which again, I know a lot of you are thinking, yeah, I've been hearing that my whole life. It's time to do it. It's time to just make that change and do it. We're talking about, I'm here today because of the self-defense part, the fun interactive part, and we're going to get up and do that in about 2 minutes. So I'm here to teach you today. We're going to do probably 2 things. So I'm going to teach you to do those 2 things really well, and I have some fun items in the back that I brought for you that we're going to play with today as well. Shifu Miller is here because he's so graciously allowed me to, I get to hit him today. He just gets to show up and get hit all day. You think I got a great job? Okay. So we're gonna get up and do that. We're gonna talk about crushing the throat and poking people's eyes out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Because, put it into perspective, this is not a mixture where the creepy guy is a little bit too close. We're talking about being in a home, in the middle of nowhere, by yourself. We're talking rape, torture, and murder if you're lucky, okay? And this is why I need to go from 0 to 100. This is why I need to teach you how to chop throats and poke out eyes, because it isn't like, ooh, creepy guy. We're talking danger, yes? And there's been enough of this in the news lately that we all know what I'm talking about, yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so first thing I need to do is I need to have my hands up. Hands up. These are your claws. What are they? Wow. Excellent. A lot of you have some beautiful nails that I can see from here. All right, I want you to take, we're going to work right hand. I want you to take your right hand, put it out, and I want you to curve your fingers. So when you hit against your other hand, the fingers should be strong. So they shouldn't collapse. They're straight, they're going to collapse. There you go. All right, the fingers are separated because I'm going to go for the eyes. The bridge of the nose will make this separation naturally. You will get a finger in an eye. That's all I need. I need 1 finger in an eyeball somewhere. So don't poke yourself in the eyes, but close your eyes and do this. And I want you to feel the natural separation from the bridge of the nose so that you get a finger in each eye. If you've only got 1 finger out there, you're not going to make it. Okay, move your hands and open your eyes. All right, so my bad guy, I'm showing a house. He decides to get a little bit too aggressive and try to push me around. He's coming in to grab me. I bring my hands up and right into the eyes. Yes. All right. So with me, we're going to go up. All right, I want you to take a step forward with your right foot and go eyes. You got to say it like you mean it. We're going to go. All right, so we're going to say it and do it. You're going to bring your hands up in front. We're going to say up. Good. Take your step and go eyes. Yes, it's like Thriller. Okay, one more time. Ready? Up. Good. Eyes. All right. When I bring my hands up, they have to come up through my center. Where do they come up, please? Center. Because I need to get in between his hands. So when he comes up, they come up here in the center. I don't want to bring him out too wide because he's going to get me first. Can you see that over there? When he comes at me right here, the hands come up through your center, this way. All right, because the push is trying to be shoulder to shoulder or to my throat. His hands are actually going to be kind of close. So they come straight up in front of you, and stick them in the eyes. We're gonna take a step forward with our right foot and then we're gonna freeze right there. So I wanna work your base a little bit. So we're gonna bring our hands up and say, hands up. Take your right step and go. Okay, everybody put both heels on the ground, bend both knees, turn your hips a little bit to the projector side of the room, and push your knees out like you're riding a horse. There you go. All right, I know. It's not supposed to be pretty.
Don't even think about it.
It isn't supposed to be pretty, it's supposed to be effective, all right? So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to think about. If you have straight legs, you're going to tip over. All right, if you have straight legs, you're going to tip over. You have to bend your knees. So he's coming at me. I'm going to up and in, bend my knees. If he were to grab onto me here and give me a bit of a pull or a push, my knees are bent and pushed out. He doesn't give me anything, ladies, trust me. If I don't have it,
I'll come around and push you too. You'll see.
Come around and push you too. All right, so we're gonna try that. If my legs are straight, we'll see right here, coming up, and if my legs are straight and he pushes, you're gonna go straight over. So your bad guy is your height or bigger. Men have more muscle. They're designed to take more hits. Don't go muscle to muscle. You're never gonna win. I won't win him muscle to muscle, obviously. All right, so we're gonna do that. Bad guy, comes in like a zombie, like you're gonna grab him around the throat. Good guys, hands up, in, take your right step, bend your knees. We're gonna come around and make sure you're solid. Okay, if he can't see me, he can't catch me. Say, if he can't see me, he can't catch me.
He can't see me, he can't catch me.
It's why we take the eye shot. Have you ever gotten an eyelash in your eye?
Yes.
Driving down the road and almost caused like a 400-car pilot. Now look at your lovely nails, right? The eyeballs are like firm grapes, right? And you're going to push till you feel the back of the skull. He's going to rape me. He's going to torture me. He's going to kill me if I'm lucky. All right? Take your fingers and shove them to the back of his skull. All right? Okay. So I have some toys with me today. And what we did is we spent a lot of time practicing and playing and feeling and touching because I do this for a living, but you don't. And I wanted to bring something that I can tell you is going to work for you. This is a little one. It's got a pin. If I put it in, I'll shock him. So I took the pin out, right? He'll never come. He won't touch it. We have trust. We're working together a long time. So the pin's out, right? So this is one that if you were showing a house at an open house, you could have in your hand. It has a little strap, and it's black because I want it to be inconspicuous. Hi, welcome for coming. Thank you. Oh, here's a flyer. I'm going to hand you my flyer with my left hand. You come along, we'll take the room. Why don't you go ahead and walk into the room and see how it feels. And then you walk behind them. But there is going to be people behind you. We're going to cover this people behind me thing. Behind me is a bad place to be. We're very back against the wall kind of people, okay? So this is little, it's in your hand, and it's on. All you have to do is not touch them with it. If you don't want to touch it with it, right? Don't want to do that. And it has a little thumb and a red light. And when I press the button, it makes a zappy noise. Do we all go to the bathroom before class? If I zap for 3 seconds, I'm good. 3-4 seconds is all he can take. If I zap him for 1 second, I'm going to need to poke him in the eyes. It's going to stun him. Stun gun. But the longer you hold it, the better you have. So I have my little stun gun, and I have Mr. decides that he's going to come around the front and bully me, grab me, push me, or something like that. All I have to do is get my hands up first, and I'm going to stick it right in his face. My thumb is already on it. I'm right-handed. It stays in the right hand. It stays in the on position. So I can find the button. Zap, zap. There we go. I don't have mine on, but I want the sound effects. Right? So it's in my hand, with my dominant hand, that I can work with and play with. It's got the strap. If he grabs it and takes it away, the pin will come out so he can't turn around and zap me with it. All right, so again, it's a security thing that I want to really make sure. Okay, behind it. A lot of times, I've looked at a lot of houses. Sometimes I do it because I have nothing else to do on a Saturday. I want some decorating ideas. I don't know, probably try going, no, don't run, I'm not dying, don't get up. I'm not even going to take a flyer. I'm seeing some decorating ideas. The tendency that I see is to have the real estate agent behind me. And there are some that work really hard at saying, why don't you go ahead and walk in so that you can be behind them? But I don't know what's going on behind me. I know he's back there, but I don't know what he's doing, and this is not good. But it's a position you put yourself in a lot. Am I right about this one? Yes. Okay. So when he comes up behind me, I've got to do something because nobody needs to be touching me. I've have you do it one hand. So if you're going to do it one hand, he's going to come around and grab me. I know where he is. Now I know where he is. He's too close. But he's got a hand on me and I need him to stay there. Because if he gets away, I got nothing, right? So I need to trap his hand first. I need to figure out what's going on behind me, but my face is not a weapon. Say, my face is not a weapon.
My face is not a weapon.
Don't turn your head like that. Hello. Right. I'm going to lead with an elbow. I'm going to bring an elbow up, step back, and turn, and now I know where he is, and I've got him. And this, with luck, is going to hit him, but it's going to clear the arm. So we're going to work this together. I'm going to turn around and face this wall. We're going to work off of the right shoulder, just because we can't do both today, time-wise. So you're going to take your left hand and put it on your shoulder and say, trap.
Trap.
Right elbow comes up. Say, right elbow up.
Right elbow up.
Step back right.
Step back right.
And when you turn, you're going to bend your knees and put your heels on the ground. Say, turn. There it is. Good. One more time. Turn around and face the front. Ready? We're going to go trap.
Trap.
Elbow up.
Elbow up.
Step back.
Step back.
Turn. Good. Bend those knees. There you go. I want to be solid. He's holding on. He's holding on to me. He is not expecting me to do anything. And if he starts to fall, and now he's got my hair, trust me, I'm not going anywhere, right? But if he starts to fall, I'm in trouble if my legs are straight. Give him a tug. I'm gonna end up on the ground wrestling. I'm not a wrestler. I don't like the ground. Okay, one more time. Ready? Trap.
Trap.
Elbow. Step. Turn. Everybody bend your knees. There you go. It's about the legs, ladies, not the back. God gave us these. We love them and we hate them at the same time. But our strength is from here down, okay? So our tendency is to like lean our backs around, which is why the chiropractor is so popular. Use what God gave you, right? Use the hips and the legs and the thighs and the butt. Stick it on the ground like this and you're not going anywhere. One more time and then we're going to partner up. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say he does it on this shoulder.
It would be, we'll cover
And you've
that.
got
That's okay.
the
If he grabs with the other, if he grabs on this shoulder, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to get to what we're going to do with this zapper. We're going to get there. You're ahead of the game.
I have that. Put
Yeah.
that in your right hand.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. I got plans. It takes them all day long. All right, one more time, and then we're going to pair up. So you're going to go trap, elbow up, step back, turn, bend your knees. There you go. If he grabs cross-armed, it's the same thing. So if he grabs on this, I'm sorry, that's correct. If he grabs cross-armed, that's fine. I trap him, I know where he is. The elbow comes up. Let's turn this way. I trap him, I know where he is. The elbow comes up. So I know where he is because I know where his thumb is, but this takes training, right? The thumb is on the outside. I know from here that his body is on this side. If he uses his other hand, I know his body is on this side. But I do that all day. Your brain won't do it fast enough. Trust me, it takes a long time. So when he traps and I do this, his thumb, his body's on the inside, which means he's got a right hook if he wants it. That's what the elbow's for on this side. This is for the right hook. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to take a big step back, come around. It doesn't matter if I have the stunner in my right hand, as soon as I don't get hit, I'm going to, would you throw me the stunner? Not yours. Yeah. Let's go back there. If I have the stunner in my dominant hand, which is where I want to carry it, and I trap here and I come across, this one is to block me from getting hit. I'm going to make a circle and swing.
Love the sound of that.
If he grabs with the right hand, and I have the stunner on this one's going to come up. This one's going to come up. I'm going to make my turn. I got a headshot from here. And then as he bends down, I'm going to take my claws and I'm going to shove it in his eyes.
You volunteer.
Yes, okay, so your name? Nancy had a really good point. Nancy just said that it's about having a mindset to follow through. What I said up there is true. You're worth it. It's not your day. Not today and not like this. And if it is, I'm going down and he's going down. It's going to be ugly, right? You are worth it. And I have to follow through on it. And what I love about this part of the training, which is why I get you up and moving, is that when you guys, when I say take a step back, ladies, because ladies are proper and polite, when he grabs, I'm going to have you come on this side of me. When he grabs, all of you know there's a body behind you, and you took these little tiny steps, and you step way over here. Because what don't you want to do? I don't want to step on your foot. Because that's what you do, not right. Right? You're trained to be, oh, what if they think I'm rude? obnoxious. Oh, well, but then maybe he won't rape me. Okay, so when you take your step, trap, elbow, big step, turn, and if I step on his foot, even better, because how does a human fall? What's going to happen before he hits the ground? His shin's going to shatter right here. Because his toes can't come up to fall. Step on his foot. I don't care. Good Lord. He's too close. That's fine. Okay, so big step. Don't worry about it. You got plenty of friends. There's supper, like for dinner. You step on somebody's foot, okay? All right, so one of the other reasons that I want to take a nice deep step is because I have to hold the stunner on him for at least 3 seconds. So if I'm too afraid of it, and he grabs, and I take this little tiny step, and for some reason something happens and he gets away from me, but I still get the stunner on him, I don't have it on him long enough. So I need to learn to drive. Hey, my son. Okay, we're almost out of time. I want to show you the different stunners just for a minute. This one makes a really wicked noise. Okay, this is for walking the dog, for putting on your nightstand. When something goes bump in the night, this is what you get first. When you walk the dog, you have it. This one doesn't have a release. This one is right here. You can use it as a bat if you want to, but it's got a stunner on it that's fantastic. Let me see if I can
Oh.
So, and it'll stun them. It'll stun them from here down. So if they go to grab it, they can't grab it. They'll stun them. It has an on-off at the bottom, and the red light is your clue. But this is walking the dog. Why you are going out at night walking your dog, I don't know. Or why you're doing the dog, I don't know. So these are nightstands, walking the dog. For whatever reason, you decide you have to go out at night, right? And I train a lot of women on things like, if you don't have paprika and it's 7 o'clock and guests are coming over and it's dark outside, do you really need to go to the store to get it? No. She's like, I don't have paprika. Right? So don't be leaving the house past a certain hour alone. Don't go to the ATM at night. All these things you've already heard. When you're in the grocery store and they say, would you like help with that map? You go, yes, please. The kid gets paid to push the cart to your car. Let him do it. It fulfills his purpose in life.
How long does that one with that thing?
This one is the same thing. 1 second is going to stun him. 3 is going to make him. 3 is going to make him.
Yeah, it's long.
Oh, I got all 6. Yeah.
What happens if you have it on for like an hour? Well, you have 911.
Then we need to talk. Okay. Something that I carry all the time, ladies, is this on my keychain. You can see it because it used to be red 20 years ago. It's a solid object. It is great for poking in the eyes. It is good for whacking upside the head, the neck. It can stick to a rib cage, and it can break the fine bones in the hand. So I'm not going to hit you. So if I'm doing whatever and he reaches out and grabs a hand from me, this just goes smack right across his hand to let go. When he lets go, bam, I'm going to poke him in the eyes. And then I'm going to go, I got things to do somewhere else. We have, today's a taste tester. It's a teaser. It's a teaser and a taser. Just made that up. Not everybody has to be a black belt. I walked into my first karate school in my early 20s, first snap kick to the groin, I'm in! Yeah, and I've been doing it ever since. And now at almost 47, there's my age, I'm still doing it, I'm still loving it, and it's just the best thing I could have done. It's not for everybody. You're like, I don't want to go be a karate girl. I don't need to go to a karate school every day and twice a week and do all these crazy things. But a couple of things, how many things? Really well, or really all you need. So what I'd like to do is I have a training coming up in March. It's March 16th. What's the date?
March 16th.
It's a Monday and it's here. I can teach you a couple of good things with a couple of weapons or with your hands so that you're proficient. What are you?
Proficient.
So that your adrenaline, when your fear and your adrenaline kicks in, you don't panic. That's one of the reasons that we do just a couple. I do not have a full line of these because I've played with them all. And I gotta tell you, I know some of you are already thinking, does it come in pink? It does come in pink. The pink ones suck because they're a different material, and when you sweat, it's gonna slip out of your hand and you're in trouble. That's why I don't carry pink. It's made of this weird plastic, and trust me, have you ever been scared and nervous? Right, you get that flash, that's sweat coming out of your body, right? That's what an animal can smell. It's gonna slide things out of your hands. So we spend a lot of time finding things that have good grips, that when you're panicked are gonna fit into a woman's hand, even though I have these really long piano fingers, but kind of that. And then something that you can carry inconspicuously, and when you get pulled over, this is so I can break my window in case of an emergency. What is it?
Emergency.
Emergency. You have to say like, so I can break my window in case of an emergency.
Okay, so
Real quick, we're almost done. You've been an awesome audience. I know that you're like, we've been here all day. This is supposed to be done. So Monday, March 16th, we're going to do a seminar here. Anybody is welcome. If you've got daughters, daughter-in-laws that you want to come, I prefer them to be about 13 or older because it's going to be an aggressive day. Right, it isn't every room that I walk in and say the word rape. Like I don't use that word around young girls who don't know what that is yet. My job is not to freak them out and scare them about how bad the world is. We're all adults here. I can say that you know what your risk is. So that's different. So if you do invite anybody on the 16th, I would like them to be at least 13 or older for that. Men are welcome as well. I've got a full crew that will be coming, so you can not you can beat up other guys instead of each other with bags and all that kind of good stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So it'll be from 9 to 2. It's $100, and if you sign up for that, if you commit to it, if you what, please?
Commit.
And the word commit means to apply oneself wholeheartedly. So you know. Then you get anything on the table today for free. And if you don't want to commit, but you want something that makes a noise, you got to buy that today. So that's there, and the prices are there. So I have all that for you. My contact information is on the back page of the handout, so please take the handout. Also on the handout is somebody who does Facebook marketing and management. So if you're looking at Facebook and think, really, I got to go through and unfriend 300 people. How am I going to do that and still not lose them? There's someone that you can hire to do that. So her contact info is on the very last page. She's an internet marketing lady who specializes in Facebook and social media. So you can hire her to handle that sort of stuff because you don't want to sit up all night drinking wine in front of people. That's just bad. The most important part of any kind of training, and really branching out of your comfort zone. How many of you branched out of your comfort zone when I said get up and come onto the floor today? Because a lot of you were like up against the wall. That's all right. With your positive reinforcement, give yourselves a big hand, please. And for my lovely assistant, Shifu Liz. Who lets me hit him and kick him on a regular basis?
What do you think about pepper spray?
I don't. Okay. So I've got a question about pepper spray, and I will tell you this: we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time with pepper spray. I do not like it. I do not like it. And if you like it, do whatever you want. Don't let me tell you what to do. Everything I say, everything I do is based on my experience. I've got a lot of experience. I've been doing this a long time, but it's just my experience. What is it, please?
Your experience.
It might be different for you. Pepper spray might be the love of your life. Have it, use it, spray people all day long. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't like the way they're designed. I don't like the way the caps are designed, and I certainly don't like the way that I can actually use it wrong and spray myself in the face. I don't like it on a windy day. And if you're out here or you're out in the country, I mean, Stockton has those hot summer nights that are 90 degrees and perfectly still. Chances are good you're on your back deck drinking wine, you're not going to need your pepper spray, but the wind is an issue. And I was playing with them on a windy day, and we had these protective glasses on, and I was like staring behind me, and you could see where it was going on the ground, and I could feel it go the wrong way and hit my hand. I'm not a fan. Some people are fans. Do whatever you want. It's your life. Make your decisions. But I don't sell them because I don't stand behind them. So that's my pepper spray.
Something I might add just with pepper spray and my experience with it as well. Pepper spray you really have to watch in a confined space. Everybody's turning on a fogger in their home.
If they're on drugs, it doesn't work that good, right?
You know what? And you're right. And you know what? The other thing that we'll talk about really quickly, and then I promise I'll let you go, is if you're dealing with somebody who's on PCP or these PCP, there's a number of reasons. Even when we do our all-day training on Monday, when we do our all-day training, you're not going to learn how to snap kick to the groin. You're going to learn how to knee to the groin. But it takes a long time to snap kick proficiently, and it is not always effective. And if you're dealing with somebody who's jacked up on adrenaline or drugs, hitting them in the groin is not going to work the way you think it's going to work. And a lot of times it will make them more angry, and then you're really in trouble. It's why we do so many eye shots. It's why we do so many throat shots. If he's on PCP, I have to make sure he can't breathe. I have to make sure he can't see me while I run, because even the stun guns, if you're only holding on them for a second, it might not take effect yet. So that's why we do things like, if I have the stun gun, I'm going to stun him, and then when his head comes down, I'm going to stick him in the eyes, because I have to have a plan to get out of there completely. So the PCP things, the drug things, those are tough. And there are laws, which we will cover on the one-day training, which is how do I assess a threat? How do I determine the threat is real? Do I think that they're going to follow through with it? And legally, where do I stand when I rip somebody's throat out? Because these are things that I do that I need to know. You're like, she's been teaching me to poke people in the eyes all day. I think I'm going to get sued. You know? So we cover that in the one-day training as well, because there are laws that allow you to defend yourself and to defend yourself aggressively. So we cover that, because it might not be. There's squatters all over the place. A lot of them really are squatters and need a place to come in out of the rain. They're going to be scared. I don't need to kill them, but there's a difference and an intention between somebody who's purposely trying to approach you, who's looked at your Facebook page, knows what you look like, knows where your kids go to school, knows where you live, knows where you work, knows where you're going to be on Saturday from 10 to 2, and shows up with the intention of doing harm to you. So those are two completely different things. So we want to compartmentalize those and keep those in mind.
Can I share one thing that I had heard as we were looking for people? We had talked to other self-defense people and things like that. And one of the things that one of the persons said, I know, well, this is, one of the things that one of the persons said is that we have an obligation to protect ourselves.
Yes.
I have grandchildren and children, and I want them to see me grow old. And so we have an obligation. And so oftentimes we feel like, oh, we don't want to hurt, or we're just this or that. Well, you mentioned my babies were having a problem.
Yeah, it is. And I think of it differently. I'm religious, but everybody has their things they believe in, whether it's God or the universe or whatever. This is the body God gave me, and it's my responsibility to take care of it. That means that I take care of what I put in it, what I don't put in it, how I defend it, and what I do with it. Like, I work nonstop, like you ladies. I also sleep a solid 8 hours a night. I turn down a lot of stuff because my body is my temple, and I need to take care of it, and that is part of it. When it comes to self-defense, there's a fantastic Buddhist way of thinking about killing another person, which is that my body is a weapon. It's designed like an animal. So if somebody's going to attack me, they've committed suicide. Don't talk to me about it. I got no problem with it. You decided to attack me, you made your choice to die that day, and that's all there is to it. He committed suicide. I'm all right with that.
Can I ask
It's a tragedy.
Because I do lost spray. And
Oh,
when
yes,
I
we
go
talked
out
about
the
the
house.
lost.
I keep a large can of lost spray.
Yeah.
I've used it on vicious dogs before. I've used it on a lot. My range is so much
Yes, the
farther.
range is far. We did talk about that on the phone. Yeah, the wasp spray, it has a really long range. That's good, and it's a big can if you know where it is, and your finger only goes one way on it. So the wasp spray, you want to keep a can of that in your car, take that with you to the open house, and just be like, I'm looking for wasps. That's fine too. So yeah, that is a very good tool because it does shoot further. Again, don't have it on a windy day. Because I've taken down the wasp spray on the wrong time.
Yes.
You're killing yourself. But yeah, the wasp spray is a good tool as well. Okay, thank you ladies, that's it for sure.
Thank you.